with class, fantastic demeanor, and a wine glass filled to the brim. What you're going to hear is the finest in urban conservative talk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the brand new Willie Lawson Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network. Good morning and welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network and SHR Media. We appreciate you being here. Great day yesterday, our first show. Real good feedback. We got some great news for you. Even after our first broadcast in the new format with the new host, Michelle was on right after me and then just killed it. Just did a great job, a great show. So we're looking forward to another fabulous day. You know, yesterday was the celebration for Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, and I have been calling it National Negro Day because frankly, it might as well be. It might as well be we're going to talk about today the real meaning of what that holiday and what Dr. King was all about has been lost in what happens in the urban corridor in my community. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about all of it, and we're going to talk about it in a real and a raw way. And if you know what, and if you're sensitive, this, you know what, you might want to do something else. If you get your feelings hurt easy, you might want to do something else. But you know what, these things have to be talked about, and we're gonna explore all the reasons why these things have to be talked about. Because it's one of those things that, quite frankly, when I'm in my car by myself and I'm thinking about, I look like the crazy guy who's just screaming. Either I'm screaming in, just ridiculously, or I'm, singing along to some death metal song. You know what I'm saying? That's how much it drives me nutty. That's how much it makes me crazy. That's how much it makes me angry. So angry that I want to fight back, which is why I started my own organization called Fight Back Media Group. And you can go to the internet, which you're already on, obviously, and go to www.fightbackmedia.com and see what we're all about and see what my heart is on urban America and the urban corridor and my own community. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to replicate that in every urban community in America. And those of you who are listening, we've got new listeners today. We've got new listeners from a new partnership that we'll talk about here in a little bit. So, you know what, we want to bring you along and let you know what we're doing. And let you know that this particular program is not just about spitting out information and being clever and funny and informative, and this ain't no college class. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no college class. And I know that a lot of shows are a little bit more erudite and a little bit more intellectual. I get that, and there's a place for that, but this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't the place where you get your intellect fed. This is the place that you get some information, you get a swift kick in your butt that says, you know what, if we don't get out in the streets and make this stuff happen, then we're wasting our time. Then we might as well be out there playing soccer or something else that's useless. You know what I'm saying? This whole idea that that some Republicans and conservatives are sort of taking on, and I see this happening, that the election of Donald Trump is going to solve all our problems. You know what? In my circle of friends, that's a joke. You figure, well, you know what? This chicken's a little raw. Don't worry about it. And, on Friday, Donald Trump will be president and everything will be great. It's the same sort of sycophantic, ridiculous, unintellectual, unsophisticated, lazy mentality that the Obamaites have, that the Obamacrats have. if Barack Obama gets elected, everything will be great. If Hillary Clinton gets elected, everything will be great. And if the other person gets elected, everything will be a disaster and a nightmare, and we'll start having to eat our own children. That's the narrative. I mean, those are the narratives that get pushed, and all of it's ridiculous and silly and moronic. The fact of the matter is that Donald Trump, all I want Trump to do, frankly, is to stay the hell out of my way. Let me do what I do. I don't, that's great that he met with Kanye West, and that's great that he and another rich guy, Steve Harvey, are going to have a great relationship, and maybe Steve Harvey, because he's got some money and some influence, will be able to get some stuff done. Great. I ain't hating on Steve Harvey, and the people who are hating on Steve Harvey, go to hell. What? I'm just saying. What? I say something wrong? What? Now, Steve Harvey is saying that he's going to try to get along with Donald Trump. He's going to try to work with Donald Trump because of Donald Trump's message in trying to help urban America that my friend Melanie in the show that follows this show went through beautifully yesterday. And that Steve Harvey is down with that plan, so that's a good plan, that he's going to try to help Trump, and suddenly he needs to turn in his Negro card. Y'all done lost y'all mind. Seriously, some of y'all done lost y'all mind. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just insane. So I ain't hating on Steve Harvey, but you know what? But I think like Steve Harvey and a lot of other people, it's going to be a wait and see sort of attitude. We're going to work this thing, and I'm not just like I didn't wait for Barack Obama to do a thing for me. I'm not going to wait for Donald Trump to do it for me, because frankly, I don't need them. And my job here on this program, every day, Monday through Friday, is to tell you that you don't need them either. Everything that you need to improve the condition of where you live, you already have. You already have the resources. You already have the intelligence. You already have whatever you need. All you need is my foot in your butt to make you do it. And you know what? You got that too. And what you're going to find out today is that you do have it. That's what this show's all about. You know what? This is our second day, so we're supposed to sort of bring you guys along as to what this is all about. Because some people think this is Glenn Beck. You have not tuned in to the Glenn Beck Network. I am not going to go back and give you a history class on progressivism and the founders, and I'm not going to do chalk talks. None of that. And there's a place for that, I guess, but not here. What I'm going to do is that now that you have all that knowledge and information, what are you going to do with it? Because the Bible says what? Knowledge does what? Puffs up. It also says what? Faith without works is dead. You know what else is dead?
Mainstream media is dead.
So we can't use them. We can't be worried about them either. We can't be worried about mainstream media. We can't be worried about, well, we're not going to get any press, and you know what? And what are they going to say about us? They're going to say they're going to say a lot of things. They're going to say that we're racist, bigots. They're going to say we're homophobic, Islamophobic, xenophobic. They're going to call us Uncle Toms and Uncle Ruckuses. That's what, what house niggers. They're going to call us all that stuff. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Now I know what to expect. Now I know what to ignore. That's how they're going to treat us. And frankly, that's okay. Doesn't make any difference to me. I always go back to this. I said, you know what? They killed Christ. And all he did was do good and heal people. And they killed him. So what do I expect? All Dr. King did was do good. And what happened? He got killed too. We'll take a little break. We'll be back with more of the Will Austin Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network right after these messages. Innovation, inspiration, and imagination. 3 important characteristics that are important in any business, but especially in real estate when you're looking for your forever home. And when that home is a new home, there are very, very many things that must go right. The financing must be on point. The furnishings must be on point. The location and neighborhood must be on point. And if you need someone to get that right the first time, you have to go to my friend Gary Knight at New Homes of Tampa Bay. That's New Homes of Tampa Bay. You can reach him on the web at www.newhomestpa.com. If you're looking for innovation through technology, inspiration and imagination through hard work, www.newhomestpa.com. There's no reason to wait for a special occasion to send flowers. No reason to wait until you miss a birthday or an anniversary or Valentine's Day to send flowers. All you have to do is get a hold of my friend Christine at Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. That's www.bloomingdays.com. And tell her that you want to send the very best, that you care enough to send the very best. One of FTD's top florists in all of the United States, always in the top 100 of flower shops in the United States. That's Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. Forget calling 1-800-something, www.bloomingdays.com. It's great to have partners, but it's even better when one of your partners is one of the finest urban conservatives in America. That's my friend Kevin Batts. Kevin Batts of Red River Chronicle TV. Red River Chronicle TV is taking the internet by storm with fabulous production, amazing commentary, and incredible insight. Red River TV is the thing that we'll all be watching in 2017. They are the people, Kevin and his wife Janelle, are the voices that are going to make the difference in urban America in 2017. So get in on the ground floor. Go to www.redriverchronicle.com and subscribe to Red River TV today. All right. Welcome back to the Will Austin Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network and SHR Media. We appreciate you being with us this morning. We've got some things to talk about. You know what? After the show yesterday, I went to my wife. It was working a booth at the Martin Luther King Parade and Festival in East Tampa, where I live. And as I'm watching the people, I think that I saw, I don't know, probably four white people. My entire 3 hours there, I think I saw like 4 white people. And most of them were the police. I'm just saying. So, you know what, and as I'm watching the people, I'm watching the condition of people. I'm watching how they came outside. I'm watching how they're dressed. I'm watching how they're managing or not managing their children. I'm watching all of the feral children that are running around this area. I'm watching all of these things take place. I'm watching all the relationships that people have with one another. I'm watching the demographics. And I'm wondering the whole time, does anybody at all have any flipping idea of why any of this is going on? Does anybody have any idea? And my conclusion is no. My conclusion is that anything that was good, this is why, John Lewis is an anachronism. This is why this man, with all his past accomplishment, barely exists on the landscape. Although he and some of his friends make him think that he still matters and what he says is still important, when it doesn't matter at all, because no one's listening, and even if they are listening, they don't know what the hell he's talking about. So here's the deal. I'm watching these folks, and what I'm seeing is the first thing that pops out at me is the number of young black girls, and I'm looking at them and I'm going, these girls are in their teens, 16, 17 years old. Well, Willie, how do you know that? Because I taught school for 15 years. I'm pretty good at knowing what a 16-year-old girl looks like. I taught high school. I can recognize them in a lineup. If you're not around them, then maybe you get fooled. I don't get fooled. And I'm seeing that they have children in tow, little children in tow, toddlers, or they are pregnant themselves. And I'm thinking, well, this is lovely. This is a problem. And on the other hand, I see other young men in their prison attire. And now what I mean by in their prison attire, I mean with the whole sagging pants thing, which is straight from prison, it's from prison culture. Yes, I know that John Lewis and I know that Dr. King both went to prison. But what's different about when Dr. King went to prison, he was wearing a tie. He was wearing a jacket and a tie. He didn't have his pants sagging. So I'm thinking this is a prison culture thing that is so prevalent that it's become innocuous, or seemingly innocuous, but it leads to a mentality and supports a narrative of slovenliness that we are not able to get through. It pushes the young man, he doesn't even understand, it pushes the young man down a whole level in his own eyes as he looks at himself. He sees himself as a caricature of what he ought to be, and so does everybody else. Everybody else sees them as a caricature of themselves, a cartoon character of themselves. You know, while we're screaming, see me and notice me and respect me, I'm sorry, I can't respect you if you don't pull your damn pants up. If you don't respect yourself enough not to have your butt hanging out, then how are you going to ask for respect from me? How is that possible? You know, a few years ago, there were the bracelets that came out that said WWJD, what would Jesus do? And there's been a lot of play on that. And while I'm there, I'm thinking, what would Dr. King say? If Dr. King walked by a 22-year-old black male at one of these events with his pants sagging, will Dr. King say, you know what, that's all right. That's all right. I feel you, bruh. I feel you, bruh. I feel your struggle. I feel your struggle, man. Just do you, man. Just do you. Oh, he have said, I believe that you should get a belt. I have a dream that someday you would get a belt and pull your pants up. I'm guessing it's the latter. I'm guessing that it's the latter. I'm guessing that he would say, I have a dream that you young ladies would be able to close your legs and not have all these children without benefit of matrimony, and respect yourself enough to not wear so much revealing clothing as if you are on the stroll 24/7, 365. That's what I'm guessing. And that's what it amounts to. So when I see all this, when all this folderol about this festival and parade, and we see it all the time in urban America during this time of year, you see competitions, you see oratorial competitions where people are, where young kids are expected to have these speeches memorized and sound like they're 55 years old and it's 1968 again. You see that going on, and you see festivals going on where people are selling food, primarily soul food. How racist would that be if a Tea Party group decided to have a soul food festival on Dr. King's birthday? We're celebrating Dr. King's birthday with ribs and collard greens and cornbread and watermelon. Cornel West and the rest of the loony left would lose their mind. You imagine? There's Amy Kramer holding up a big piece of fried chicken on the poster. Imagine she's holding up a big piece of fried chicken. Celebrate Dr. King. You imagine? There's Rush Limbaugh with a big piece of watermelon. Celebrate Dr. King. Can you imagine? The loony left would lose their mind. Cornel West and the rest of the people would just explode. They would spontaneously combust. However, that's exactly what we do. It's exactly what we do. There's a great phrase that says, "You teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you, and the way you dress, and the way you act, and the way you carry yourself, all lets people know who don't know you how to address you, and how to treat you, and how to think about you." That works with individuals, and that works with groups as well. And as long as we're willing to do that same thing, then the idea is that, guess what? Everybody else sees you that way. That we just love our chitlins and our cornbread and our fried chicken and our watermelon. And I ain't lying, I do. But I ain't mad. I wouldn't be mad to see Amy Kramer, on a poster holding a piece of fried chicken and saying, "Come on down to our MLK festivities put together by Tea Party Express." I think I'd laugh my butt off. That whole vision that I just had right now in my mind just made me laugh. I got this grin on my face and it makes it hard to even talk. I think that'd be funny as heck. I think that would be hysterical. But you can see how other people would think, well, that's racist. Well, you know what? This is how we act. Let me tell you what was the thing that set me off the most. There's two things actually. Let me do the first thing first. The first thing first. My wife works for a credit union. She's a branch manager of the credit union that is in East Tampa, and they always participate in this festival where they have booths where people have exhibits and they have they sell stuff and they promote their businesses and blah 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 blah. And the credit union does the very same thing. And they always have giveaways. They always have things that people can take with them. Calendars, mortgage calculators, information about the credit union, all sorts of stuff. Even silly stuff like fans, hand warmers, mints, just giveaway stuff, promotional material. And I tell you what, I saw a group of kids, 3 kids, probably 9, 10 years old, maybe 11 years old, and they were walking up the sidewalk towards us with bags, where they had gone to every table up the walk, getting free stuff. Now, they came up to my wife's table, and they're grabbing stuff, saying, "What's this? What's this? What is this? What do you do with this? And my wife, because she's a whole bunch nicer than I am, is trying to tell them what it is. And I want to tell them, if you don't know what it is, you don't need it and you can't have it. Go find your mama. Is what I wanted to say, but it wasn't my table. It wasn't my thing. My wife handled it beautifully, as she always does. And the first group of little rugrats came by and grabbed their free stuff and stuffed it in their bags, and off they went. And I was mad. I was mad because what happened, what's continuing to happen is that we continue this mentality in our culture that get as much free stuff as you can. Get as much free stuff as you can. You don't have to know what it is. If it's free, just take it. Just get one. Get two. Get three. Take two for yourself and bring me one. Whatever it is. That we have taught our children this is how to behave in public. And then just 5 minutes later, down the parade route, I had seen the float from where we were sitting. We could see the parade. I'd seen the McDonald's float come by. I'd seen the Tampa Bay Rays float come by. I'd seen the Tampa Bay Lightning float come by. And then I look up and there's a big Tostitos truck. And this was the comb. This brought it all home to me. This was no longer about I have a dream. This was no longer about judge a man not by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. This was no more about I've been to the mountaintop. This was about these people throwing bags of Doritos into the crowd of Negroes and having people jump over old people to get one of those little fun-sized bags of flipping Doritos. Screaming and yelling and reaching for a bag of chips. That's what it was all about. That's what they've been waiting for. That's the crux of the matter. We had a day off from work. We had a day off. The banks were closed. We had a day off from work. Schools were closed. So people could get free Doritos. That was Dr. King's dream, to get free Doritos. Throw me some of them Doritos, bro. Come on now. Come on. Throw the Doritos over here. You throw them to the one white boy. You can throw me some Doritos too. It was insane. People scrambling on the ground and stuff, and I wanted to scream out loud. I wanted to take out my Glock and fire a few shots in the air because that'll make Negroes scatter. That's what I wanted to do, but I didn't. I didn't do that. I didn't bring a gun because I don't have a gun. But if I had one, I would have just fired off a few rounds in the air. Pop, 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 pop. Because it was crazy. It was insanity. And I thought, this is what this is devolved to. Now these are the very, and what gets you, these are the very same people who would listen to this program, call me a house nigger and an Uncle Tom. The very same people. Now they are scrambling around on the ground in the street trying to get a free bag of Doritos, and they are down with the cause. Bite me, really? Because I won't fight for a bag of free Doritos. Then I think, you know what I'll do? I don't know. I'll go to my little job and I'll work and I'll buy myself a bag of Doritos. I'm not going to stand on the street and wait for somebody to throw one at me like I'm some sort of circus animal. Are you kidding me? And I really thought at this point, do any of these people understand the premise of why they're here in the first place? And the answer is no. The answer is they don't have any earthly idea while they're there. They don't have any earthly idea of the concepts and the precepts of what Dr. King was about, what the civil rights movement was about. Even John Lewis, who was intimately involved, even people like Jesse Jackson Jr., who was standing on the balcony over Dr. King's dead body, have lost what it was about. It's become about personal gain. It's about I'm getting mine. I don't care where I get it from. It's about free stuff. It's about the system owes me this because of 400 years of slavery. I don't remember Dr. King talking about the system owes you something other than an opportunity. And to look, quite frankly, to look 60 years down the line, or 40 years down the line even, and be able to say that things aren't better than they were. You're just trying to keep things stirred up to keep your position in it. You're just trying to be dishonest on purpose. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that everything is great, everything is awesome because we're part of a team. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that we are a damn sight better than it was before. And we've got to do something that people don't want to do. And I'm going to concentrate on, because I'm going to do a show on this sometime next week. I listened to a lot of tape from Dr. King, and there was a lot of talk about desegregation of schools. But we've got to look at the civil rights movement of the 60s, and the only, as much as we can revere the people who took the ultimate risks, we've got to look at their success. Yes, and there was successes, but we also have to be brave enough to look at where it failed and why it failed. In some of their accomplishments that backfired, my belief is that the desegregation of schools is one of those things that backfired. What? I know you just dropped your coffee. You just spilled your coffee in your lap. Oh, you just spit it all over your computer screen. I know. I'm still of the mind that it's one of those things that backfired. One of those things that didn't work out anywhere like people thought it would. That, quite frankly, for a lot of people, it was a failure. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute with more of the Will Austin Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon, and you're so. Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHR Media.
And on TECN.
Where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
From sports and politics.
To food and entertainment.
To money.
Family.
And anything else in between.
Community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservative.com.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work there too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best in late night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Sackheads. Sackheads. Radio. Sackheads. Sackheads. Radio. America. And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
This is a production of Fight Back Media Group. For more information, go to www.fightbackmedia.com.
From the war front to the streets of our nation's capital, men of faith, Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor, and Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, bring both constitutional gravitas and spiritual perspective on today's issues to the most influential Christian urban talk show, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays. It's a new day on New Day, Black and Red.
It's all the rage to call and order flowers from 1-800-whatever or go online and order them from some nameless, faceless person on the other end. I'm saying you should do something different. You should, before doing that, call my friends at Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, located right here in Tampa, Florida, at 11618 North Florida Avenue, 33612. Christine and her staff don't look at just the order. They look at the customer. They look at your occasion. They consider the entire person, the entire occasion, before making decisions about design and price. You're more than just a customer. You're a friend. Call our friends at Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, toll free at 1-800-330-3297. 1-800-330-3297. Local 813-971-5947. 813-971-5947. You can reach them on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. You're tired of the cold? You're tired of the taxes? It's time to move to Florida. And our friend Gary Knight at New Homes of Tampa Bay is the perfect person to help you. You can just give Gary a call at 813-770-9452, or you can go to the website to look for your brand new home at www.newhomestpa.com. Move to Florida. It's about time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready to stop talking about it and to be about it, then you want to partner with us. You want to partner with Fight Back Media Group. Fight Back Media Group is ready to lift the stature of the best urban conservative voices in America. Sonny Johnson, K. Carl Smith, C.L. Bryant, Ken McClinton, Shirley Huzar. Let us lead you to raising the stature of some of the most important urban American voices that have the medicine for urban America and America at large. Go to www.fightbackmedia.com. Read what we're all about. Help us as we take the message to the streets, to the people. We want to meet in the chicken shacks, in the churches, not just the churches fried chicken, but the churches, in the schools, the community centers, the basketball courts, to bring the message of urban conservatism to where it needs to be the most. Go to www.fightbackmedia.com. All right. Well, welcome back to I'm not sure what that was. You have to forgive me. Welcome back to the Willie Lawson Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network. My name is Willie Lawson, and I'm so glad that you could listen this morning. Now, if you've got any comments on what we're saying, listen, we are broadcasting on Spreaker, or you can make the comments there in the Exceptional Conservative Show.com chat room on the chat roll, or if you're brave enough, if you got the chutzpah, you can send me an email at WLSTECN@gmail.com. That's WLSTECN@gmail.com. If you got the chutzpah. My guess is that you don't. My guess is that you will want to after you hear what I'm going to say now. I'm going to say now, one of the things that you have to do all the time is you have to continue to reassess what you've accomplished. You can't just take the accomplishment and run with it like it was a good thing, because it might not have been a good thing. I listened to a lot of Dr. King's speeches last night after work, preparing for this program, and what I found out is that he mentioned a lot of talk about desegregation of schools. Well, I spent 15 years, I know I'm talking about it like it's prison, I spent 15 years in the public school system. Not just in high school, but as a teacher, as an instructor. And I've worked in every environment. I've worked in the inner city, and I've worked in the suburbs. One of the schools I worked at, they called it Harvard on the Alafaya. It was a high school, full of rich folks. So I've worked in every environment. And what I have found is that the experiment of the desegregation of schools may have been a bad idea. What? Yes, it may have been a bad idea. It may have been the very same thing that has caused and has promulgated the problems that I just talked about at the National Negro Day festivities that we attended yesterday, because it's an echo chamber. There was nothing in a school or in a place like that to push the envelope to make things better. There wasn't one single solitary thing. So these kids live in this echo chamber of liberal narrative and pop culture. Nothing. But when they have because as we used to see, and we've all seen pictures of all black schools back in the 40s and the 50s, when there was the most oppression, when racism and bigotry were codified in law. See, this is the part that makes me crazy. We're talking about the 50s and the 60s, where racism and bigotry were codified in law, and not just in the South. Let's throw off that nonsensical narrative. Not just in the South, all over this country. It was tougher for people of color everywhere in America. This is at the very same time, during segregation, where we built HBCUs and had doctors and lawyers, scientists, business people graduate. More of us went to high school. More of us graduated from high school. More of us went to college and graduated from college, when things were supposed to be the most oppressive. When things were the most oppressive. We had better families. We had more men in the house in the household. Our illegitimacy rate was negligible compared to what it is now. The abortion rate was negligible compared to what it is now. Successful black communities, not just successful black people, successful black communities. What do we have now? We have ghettos, we have drugs, we have illegitimacy out of the park. We've got the worst educational opportunities. Why? Because the educational opportunities that we used to have that were involved in the community, we farmed those out and sent our kids to God knows where for some sort of racial balance and harmony. And all this really caused is racial imbalance and disharmony. It's maybe something that hasn't worked. Now, I know I sound like a heretic and a separatist for saying so, and I'm neither. But we're going to have to start looking at some of these things if we are really looking to make the improvements that we say we are. Are we really looking to make the improvements that we say we are? Or are we just going along with the liberal Democrat narrative nonsense? Are we really looking to make a change? Are we looking to make things different? Are we looking to make things better? Are we willing to be introspective in a real way? And we're going to talk about introspection Thursday. Not community introspection, but personal introspection and cultural introspection. We're going to talk about on Thursday. So mark your calendar. Cultural introspection on Thursday. Boy, a lot of people ain't going to like that. No, but that's okay. You'll be all right. Or not. That's how I feel about most things. You're going to be okay or not. I'm going to be okay regardless. So you're going to be okay like me, or you can be not okay like you. You choose. But we've got to start, let me give you a little teaser here. You've got to start looking at our culture more introspectively. We can't look at these 19 and 20-year-old black young men with their pants sagging and think that they really have a shot. We can't keep looking at these 16-year-old girls who are pregnant with their second child and think that any of the people involved in that really have any real opportunity. Now they can all take pictures with Michelle Obama, and they can all just pretend that everything's great, that they just sort of this black girl magic thing going on. All you want, you could Instagram yourself into Insta fame and still be an Insta failure. And the failure is not society. The failure is your own. The failure is your own poor decision making. The failure is of a culture that continues to reward awful decision making. And a culture that is completely devoid of any introspection. Completely devoid of that. You know what? I'm sorry, John Lewis. You know what? You've been pushed out there like some sort of Muppet, to rail against Donald Trump. But there's no introspection of anything that John Lewis is saying. Not any. Nobody's looking at one layer deeper. Nobody's looking at, you know what, John Lewis, when you were getting beaten around the head, when you were being tossed in jail back in the 60s, you were being tossed in jail by the same people that you joined. You have Stockholm syndrome, son. That you have fallen in love with your captors. And is anybody willing to say that? Well, only me. I'm the only one. So, again, if you got the guts, if you don't like it, send me an email at wlstecn@gmail.com, and I'll answer it because I don't have a staff yet to answer all my email, but that's coming. You better believe it. That's coming. Listen, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back with more of the Will Austin Show right here on TECN. We'll be back right after these messages. Innovation, inspiration, and imagination. 3 important characteristics that are important in any business, but but especially in real estate, when you're looking for your forever home. And when that home is a new home, there are very, very many things that must go right. The financing must be on point. The furnishings must be on point. The location and neighborhood must be on point. And if you need someone to get that right the first time, you have to go to my friend Gary Knight at New Homes of Tampa Bay. That's New Homes of Tampa Bay. You can reach him on the web at www.newhomestpa.com. If you're looking for innovation through technology, inspiration and imagination through hard work, www.newhomestpa.com. There's no reason to wait for a special occasion to send flowers. No reason to wait until you miss a birthday or an anniversary or Valentine's Day to send flowers. All you have to do is get a hold of my friend Christine at Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. That's www.bloomingdays.com. And tell her that you want to send the very best, that you care enough to send the very best. One of FTD's top florists in all of the United States, always in the top 100 of flower shops in the United States. That's Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. Forget calling 1-800-something, www.bloomingdays.com. It's great to have partners, but it's even better when one of your partners is one of the finest urban conservatives in America. That's my friend Kevin Batts. Kevin Batts of Red River Chronicle TV. Red River Chronicle TV is taking the internet by storm. With fabulous production, amazing commentary, and incredible insight, Red River TV is the thing that we'll all be watching in 2017. They are the people, Kevin and his wife Janelle, are the voices that are going to make the difference in urban America in 2017. So get in on the ground floor. Go to www.redriverchronicle.com and subscribe to Red River TV today. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. It's about time we head out of here. And I do this with coffee. I do this without coffee. Now, Thursday I will have coffee. I will have this. You hear that? It's empty. It'll be full of coffee on Thursday. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you will continue to come and listen to this show and every other show on the TECN network and SHR Media. We have been blessed that yesterday we have expanded our reach. And this is what we said before. It's what I said on Monday, that this is about getting this message out to the greater audience. And the folks at High Plains Talk Radio has picked up what we're doing, and now we're being broadcast in a much larger area. And I hope that some of our new listeners will participate. Send me an email, especially if you are a High Plains Talk Radio listener, and that you've heard this show for the first time, either yesterday or today, and let us know. Please let us know what you'd like to hear more of, what you'd like to hear less of. Okay, so don't worry about that last part, because that's not going to make any difference to me. You know what? My wife says that I have turned the only child thing into an art form. We will see you when we see you. Have a fantastic rest of the day.